Hey Wastelanders, welcome back to an episode of The Keeper. I think this is episode 17 if I remember. I bring you the BRS Evolve of Apache. So BRS stands for Blade Runner Systems. Are you familiar with Blade Runner Systems? Maybe not. If you're into bally songs or butterfly knives, you'll be familiar with Blade Runner Systems. So the Evolve line, I believe they have maybe two lines besides Blade Runner Systems, but don't quote me on that. But the Evolve line is kind of, I wouldn't say their budget line. I think they have some budget knives, but I remember right, this was maybe a $150 knife at the time when I bought it. I think I ended up getting this for about $120, and I believe it dropped down to maybe $100 before it sold out. I don't know if you can still get them, but I bought my Apache straight from Blade Runner Systems because they were advertising no China maker's mark on the blade. This is like a fantasy knife that I just wanted. I think I bought it a little bit after the start of my channel. I was like, I didn't think I even had 100 subs at the time, but I saw this knife and I fell in love with it. So this blade, there's no markings on the blade, but the blade is CPM S35 VN steel. So there's no markings on the blade, none so whatsoever. So that's the cleanest blade, probably some of the cleanest blades I have. This is a stonewash blade. You can see it's considered a drop point. I always fantasize it's kind of like it resembles a spear point, sort of. Like you can see the spear point look. And I think it's a bit of a Nessmuck style. It's probably not because of the drop point, but I like the big belly. And I think Nessmucks tend to have big bellies. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. It's a flat grind. It's not a hollow grind. I don't think it looks like a hollow grind, but if I just wanted to tell you, it's a flat grind. It's a stone wash. So this is a frame lock. This is a titanium body with these I don't know, what do you call it? Collars. These pivot collars on both sides, and this backspacer are made from aluminum, but they are set in the titanium body. So this is a milled titanium body. You could see this milled look is pretty amazing. I like this, but I fell in love with it because it was milled. You can see it has a steel insert. I just love the pivot collars. I love the pivot collars. So this is a flipper tab only. You have a sort of oh, I almost cut myself. You have a sort of a fuller line that runs along the blade, the top of the blade. I don't have enough nails or grippiness to flip it out other than to use the flipper tab. I've tried. Yeah, this is not, it's not a super tough detent, but it has a great detent on it because me and my pussy fingers, I can't flip it out other than to use the flipper tab. The flipper tab, you can see it has no jimping on it. That's the only thing that bothered me. I think they could have got away with a much smaller flipper tab, but it is what it is. I always fantasizing grinding the flipper tab to more match the titanium body. but I don't have that. I don't have those skills. I've taken this knife apart before. I'm pretty sure in one of my older videos, once I got it, I took it apart and showed you guys the insides of it. I'll try to find that and put it in the description or a card up there so you can see it taken apart. As I said, it's aluminum pivots and it's on ceramic bearings. Sort of drop shutty. It's not super drop shutty. It's not going to cut your finger off. It's not guillotine-ish, but it's drop shutty. Has a milled clip. This is a milled titanium clip. You can see the only markings on it is the Evolve logo, which is an E. That's the only markings on this. I don't believe it has any markings on the inside, but if I find that video and you watch it, you'll see it. I haven't taken it apart in a while, so I kind of don't remember. I love this knife. So I'm going to show you a few years later, maybe 3 years later, they try to make this a button lock. So like last year, I think that came out maybe. This is a button lock version. It's much smaller. This knife initially, I really hated it. And I don't hate it now, but it wasn't easy to not hate it because I had to take it apart several times and work on it just to make it actually work. And once I got it to work, I fell in love with it. This is in D2. So you probably should have seen a lot of videos at the time when it came out. I believe it came out in maybe 2022 or 2021. I always forget. I couldn't flip this knife open at the time it came out. It was like so gunked up and locked up and fucked up in there. I just couldn't. This was a terrible knife, but once I got it working, it became an awesome knife. I like the sound it makes. Yeah, it just makes a really great flipping sound. There's like a certain ting to it. So this is not about this knife, but I just wanted to like show you guys. They revisit the knife, the BRS revisit the knife, and they named it the same thing. You can see it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's probably a lot smaller than this. It looks like it's the same size handle, but it really isn't. When I grip the handle on the bigger size one, I get all 4 fingers on there. I don't believe, yeah, when I grip this one, I could get, it's like a 3-finger knife. So it's not the same size, even though it kind of looks like it. Yeah, maybe I can show you how it's sized. Yeah, so it's hard to show the size unless you show it this way. You can see the blade's smaller too, and they put a hole in the blade. They thought they would put a hole in the blade and get you to flip it out, finger flick it, but my model is not finger flickable. I've seen some people easily flip this, finger flick this, but this one is not. And this is in G10. I don't believe there's any titanium on there. I think it has a steel pocket clip. And again, it's in D2. This is just a cheaper model. I believe I picked this up for $55. I think it showed more on some places, but I got mine for $55. $55 probably. I think at the time you could get them for maybe $45. But yeah, anyway. Let me put this out of the way and show you just some comparisons, sizes for knives, and wrap this review up. Okay, let's show you a Benchmade bug out just for the hell of it, and show you how it sizes up with a Benchmade bug out. So a Benchmade bug out is basically bigger. It's not a big knife. It's definitely not as small as the reissue. Let me show you guys how it stacks up against a Stevie Baby Banter. So even this is bigger than a Stevie Baby Banter. So this is definitely a keeper. This is a fantastic knife as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if anybody got this one besides myself. I don't think I've seen any reviews on this. I believe they exist, but I haven't seen any. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of it. I was drawn by the pivot collars and the blade. I didn't care much for the handle at the time. I remember I've gotten used to the handle, but I really like the way this looks, you know, that way. Yeah, I like the pivot and the blade. Not so much the handle, but it's not bad. I've gotten used to it. I carry this every once in a while, but primarily I keep this in my case as a keeper. I just like it. I just like how it looks. It was the first first art piece I bought. I think this is an art piece. Maybe not for you guys, but for me, it's just basically an art piece. That too. Take care, Wastelanders.